Hey guys, good afternoon. We got to treat this as kind of a final set of logs, I think. We may have to prepare for the worst, unfortunately. I think subconsciously I probably did know that it was going to come to this. That's why I woke up in the bed screaming one night. Uh, I've always kind of denied having any kind of prophetic gift, but I also recognize that there's technology that's indistinguishable from magic, and it can certainly create inception kind of thoughts in the mind. And so the only when I go to war against my father's passive aggressiveness, I break him by attacking his hubris. Because I recognize that any time he instructed me when I was a child about hubris, he was projecting. And as I learn more and more about Black women, I recognize that they project their own insecurities as well. And so, since both Black women and my father take their cues from uh, demonic Jewish culture, I recognize that you have to do whatever Jesus did, and that's the only thing that can combat them. And I know a lot of you are able to get the message from these YouTube videos and from my social media posts. I give every day to the Lord because that's all I can do. Anytime I get a little bit of money, I put it into things that have deep personal spiritual meaning to me. Not because one of the things that you always see in 90s television shows, Touched by an Angel. I remember we used to watch Bonanza, The Big Valley, those cowboy shows. Um, there was always in the 90s, it was very, the stage of time. The Sopranos came out in the late 90s, and that was talking about the Italian Americans community kind of departing from their traditions. And Tony Soprano got executed at the end in 2007 when the final show was done, right? And so first it was The Sopranos, then it was The Wire, and then it was Boardwalk Empire. So they walk us down this path of decay, spiritual decay, because when we decay spiritually, they can have their Tower of Babel or Babylon. It's not just about homosexuality and transgenderism. It's just about a general rejection of God. Uh, and it's tough. It's really tough to um, it's tough to constantly rely on an invisible force to save you in isolation. And I think that's the point of solitary confinement. And so there's a family just next door that has um, an autistic looking, obese child, a Polish family. And I know that they work for the government because the child might be 8 or 9 years old and he has boots and he's constantly sprinting up and down the hallway right when I'm trying to take a nap because sleep is one of the only free things I'm allowed to do. I walked out this morning. I went to the library next door to fill up 4 gallons of filtered water because I don't want to drink this tap water. And I was going to drive there just so I didn't have to carry the book bag, and the car was not out there. So that tells me, and it's February 1st, and I gave an offer to the opposing counsel of the landlord, and yesterday, and this morning, the car's not there. So these things are um, countermeasures that the enemy is taking, and uh, the individual sacrifices that the Jewish community makes. You may see, some posts about Donald Trump's past, or one particular Jew, Michael Cohen, or something like that. I'm not trying to take down the whole system, but I do need to clear enough. I have to accumulate enough bodies in order for myself to live at a standard that I believe is appropriate for my sons to recognize as a template for what is reasonable to expect if you're willing to keep God first. And I may have to pay that cost with my life, but um, I've benched 225, incline bench 225. I've run 4.5 in K Swisses. I've uh, I've completed the multiple orgasm task through penetration and other means. I've you know been a Jewish level scholar in hip hop culture, both in the street and in the more academic, um, conscious varieties of hip hop culture. And I've bridged the hair texture discussion, and I've um, achieved accomplishing an engineering degree which satisfies my stereotypical requirement. Um, I anchored the 4x100 meter relay on the varsity track team as a junior. Um, you know, I have the stats that I'm happy with. Um, I didn't start a family, but I asked my brother to do that when a perfect candidate was supplied for him. But he chose not to take part in sharing the burden, and that saddens me very much. But um, I think I have to depart from uh, my own uh, my own nuclear family at this point, because I don't have the spiritual bandwidth to carry these things anymore. Weight of Crowns 2, a couple of last few things I want to share with you. I don't know if we'll be able to get to Weight of Crowns 3. Malicious diminishing returns require escalation. Okay. When people resent you for that Rocky Balboa 14th round, David Goggins kind of getting up, they hate themselves for not being able to have the same level of wherewithal to continue in the face of oppression. Or they hate themselves for the compromises that they made. And they either take it out on you personally, or they partner with somebody who can fund them taking it out on you. So whoever is a confidential informant in the Carol American community, there's heavy, heavy, heavy judgment waiting for you. There's no more forgiveness I can do for you. I'm sorry. Fatherless jealousy. My father, I think, took out on me the um, life he wished his father gave him. That's the end of it. Black envy and Indian envy are very similar. Um, what happens on the fathers on our side happens on the mothers on your side, and everybody seeks to cover up their own blemishes with the most beautiful woman they can find. And I friend zoned the most beautiful woman in my life, just because I didn't want to accumulate a huge sexual bill with the Lord. Um, because I thought that I would be able to achieve some financial independence by uh, remaining relatively celibate. Not true. Wise and foolish virgins. We all have oil in our lamps, okay? It's about how we use that oil. I live at 3255 Kirkhoff Road in Rolling Meadows, Illinois, right across the street from the police station. 4 Elgin police officers were sent here to tell me that I was no longer allowed on the Judson campus. And if I stepped foot on that campus, even to go to the track, where my parents spent 20 plus years teaching and got the first Fulbright awards in that school's history as active faculty members, I was told that I'd be arrested for trespassing. That document is here somewhere. You'll just have to take my word for it. I've been waiting for a 2024 tax refund for more than 2 months. That would solve a lot of problems. And I still haven't received my W-2 from uh, Metropolitan Water Reclamation District for this year. I already told you about the bank accounts that have been taken from me. And I didn't want to be one of these influencers that was, complaining about how all these things were happening and woe was me. But just like Ye with Adidas, it wasn't just woe is me, it's woe is us. And so I tried to Let's read Troy Zimmerman's email. Troy Zimmerman got 20 plus years of fees, and he was recommended to my father by the name of Paul Mao, Mouw, from Judson University. Dear Varghese, Raj, and Alex, now remember, I don't have any money with Troy. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to the Mathai family. Fuck you. You have been incredibly good to me over the nearly 20 years I have served, and I will always be thankful for the opportunity I've worked with you. However, based on information recently shared with me, which he knew about, I believe my current role is no longer beneficial to the harmony of the family. Doesn't care about the harmony of the family. Family bonds are far more important than any professional relationship. If transitioning out of my professional capacity creates even a small chance for family restitution, then this is an easy decision to make. It's not Troy that is preventing my father from giving me my inheritance. It is other outside actors. With that being said, I'm going to step away from our professional relationship. I know this email may come as somewhat of a shock, and I would welcome the opportunity to speak with each of you individually as we move through this process. We will need some coordination over the next few weeks, and I also believe clarification on a few matters may be beneficial. The only matters that need clarification are where is my money and why isn't it in my pocket? Please give me a call at your convenience, blah, 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 Troy. All my life, I have looked into the eyes of white and Jewish Americans as they pretended to have a sense of morality based on the Bible that they use to put us in handcuffs. And I pray every day that the Lord strikes them down with the furious vengeance that they have used to isolate and capture me and my family, which led to my mother's murder. I cannot betray the woman of God. That is as close to Deborah as we have had in this world. And the algorithm knows it, and mainstream media knows it, and all the people that are trying to use this Epstein file release against my worth and my value to shove their sins under the rug while not paying me for the work that I'm doing, just as they stole from my mother. I do not take pride in Fannie Lou Hamer slavery working for free. I do not take pride in castration. I do not take pride in your pity, even if I must bear it for the sake of my sons. You will never be me. You will never fuck like I fuck. Conditioning you football coach faggots is a failure. Pat Riley. It means you don't understand how to manage the gifted people that God put on this earth to help you make a buck. Running people into the ground so that they can appear less neurologically gifted. So that your Caucasian Rocky Balboas can look like peers when they're purely Luke Walton mediocre cowards who want an N-word pass when it's convenient. Beyond a certain point, conditioning is abuse. And I'm not even talking about my father anymore. Let him rot. I'm talking to the rest of you Carolites who have abused your children when it was unnecessary. How you deal with white America when you go to work is your responsibility. You could have easily, with all the income you had, our grocery stores make a living with our community's income. We could have been self-sufficient financially. But you need to prove that your luxury vehicle is better than the person you park next to. The Lord's going to pay me tribute for your treason. They want to put me on the whipping post in front of you all, making gravy with all-purpose flour and water. as if I haven't already proven my point to the people I love, as if I'm not already adored, as if my personal battles have not already been won, as if the crown is not already waiting for me. No, miss, you were not good enough for me. But thank you for the stepping stone. There's a difference between Mary and Martha. Martha was doing everything that the house required. And Jesus didn't say she was sinning. But he said what Mary was doing was more important. They give our parents a white Jesus so that we will get upset about it. I told you, the Lord can use even the King James Bible's lies to speak to his people. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar to hear from the Lord. And you don't ever have to listen to me as a prophet. Castrating the gifted so that they don't outshine the mediocre. That's all this is. And that's all I've been going through all my life. I'm not going to apologize for my skin tone, my hair texture, or my eye color anymore. I've done everything I set out to do. And I'm proud of the work I've done, despite the opposition. I want my restitution from the Lord in this life. I don't want the Jews to get away with running the clock out. I curse all of you in the name of the white Jesus you have used to oppress us. The crown belongs to me. See you next time.